out of the room he'd been in, gathering speed as it moved towards the stairs. Yeah, that's what I thought. This is totally a Wait, what the hell? A wave? Shit, I gotta get out of here. So Junpei's gonna die at the end. Yay!
Yep.
Junpei spun around, his wet shoes squeaking in protest on the polished floor, and ran towards the tremendous staircase in front of him. C deck. B deck. As he ran, he glanced quickly at the plates mounted on the wall, denoting the decks of the ship. He took the stairs 2 at a time, not entirely sure where he would find himself, just as he began to wonder where, in fact, the stairs did lead. Junpei saw another person out of the corner of his eye. He stepped short, nearly tripping over the next stair, and looked. It wasn't just one person he'd seen. On the landing to the left of the stairs, there were 4 people staring at him. On the right side, 3 more. All told, there were 7 of them. It looked as though they had been on their way down the stairs. They'd stopped short when they saw Junpei, their eyes wide. Hi, Mudu! He'd done the same, of course, and now they stood there staring at one another. Junpei didn't move, one foot placed awkwardly on the next step in the middle of a stride. Who are these people? Their entire interaction lasted only a matter of seconds. The one spoke to Junpei, and time began to move again. I guess this is another one of us now. The woman dressed, Junpei thought, rather like a dancer. Her clothes covered very little, and her prodigious jewelry a little more. Hey you! Come on! Hurry! With no further ceremony, she ran straight past Junpei and towards the door behind him. The sudden proximity of a woman with such striking assets left Junpei momentarily stunned. But the others wasted no time and quickly followed the strange woman. The first to pass Junpei was a young man with silver hair. He threw a quick glance in Junpei's direction as he ran, muttering, one of us, huh? Following him was an older man, his face calm and without fear. Soft wrinkles sprouted from his eyes, and he came close enough as he passed for Junpei to see wisps of gray in his hair. His composure and shock of hair struck Junpei as rather like that of an elderly lion. Going up won't do you any good. There are 2 doors, but neither of them will open. The next to speak was a girl with pink hair and a high voice. Come on! Aren't you coming? You gotta hurry! Her small hand was wrapped around the wrist of another man. Sorry. His eyes were closed, almost as though he were sleeping. His features were graceful, almost serene, and he was dressed.
Her name is Pink Hair.
Well, yeah, it's just that. Basically, the boxes are like what he's describing.
Right. It's just funny to me.
Mm-hmm. And he was dressed rather elegantly for someone his age. Something about his posture seemed very refined, and June couldn't help feeling he was noble and dignified somehow. He'd certainly never seen one, but this man seemed like what Junpei had always imagined a prince would be like. That's 9 of us then. All of the cards are in hand. What does all of the cards are in hand mean? He wondered. Junpei opened his mouth to ask what the other man meant, but the girl with pink hair rushed past him and they were gone. He turned just in time to see 2 more people running towards him. One of them had hair like a bird's nest and looked as though a stiff breeze might topple him, and the other was a veritable mountain of a man. The scrawny one said nothing and scuttled past Junpei as though he were running from something. Hey, what the hell are you just standing there for? Didn't you hear him? The doors in A deck are no good. We gotta check the doors in B deck. Got it? Now go! In italics. Before he had a chance to respond, the man laid a massive hand on Junpei's shoulder. With no more effort than Junpei would have used to brush aside a fly, the man shoved him out of the way. Whoa. Thrown off balance by the man and recent events, it took Junpei a few steps to get his bearings. He finally regained his balance and looked up at what the other 7 had been running toward. There were 2 pairs of large iron doors set into the wall in front of him. They looked quite sturdy, and each had handles jutting from them. Written across the surface of each door in red paint was a number. 4. The door on the right had a 4. And the door on the left had a 5. They're the same. The guy Junpei had decided to call Silver was mumbling to himself. The room I woke up had a number on the door just like that. 2, eh? With an arched eyebrow, the lion looked over at Silver. My cell was the same. A number upon the door. I opened it, ran down the hallway outside, and found myself in a rather grand room, full of stairs, I suspected the rest of you. It was as though the floodgates had been opened. They all began to talk at once. Me too. I did too. Yeah, a door with a number on it. It soon became clear that each one of them had awoken in a room with a locked door and solved the puzzle to escape. They'd all ended up in the same room, almost as though they've been guided there. Yes, we all saw the same thing. That's not important. We need to hurry. Yeah, you think I don't know that, lady? Before the dancer had time to finish, Silver was already running. He grabbed hold of the door labeled 5 and pulled. However, fuck, it's not opening! This damn thing won't even budge! Move. You're in the way. The mountain grabbed Silver's shoulder and tossed him aside. His path cleared, he took a few steps back, then threw himself at the door. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. The door shook as his body slammed into it, but showed no signs of breaking or opening. The mountain threw himself at the door again. Junpei turned toward door 4. Next to the door in the wall was a small box. It looked just like the one he'd seen in his room, next to the door. If it was the same, then this door was likely locked as well. Still, he had to check. Junpei grabbed the handle and threw all of his weight into it. Gah. It was locked as tight as the door next to it, as he'd suspected. Damn it. Junpei punched the door and did not respond. Were this the only doors he wondered? He'd barely finished the thought when the C deck plate he passed on his way up sprang unbidden to his mind. The body moved before he had time to think. Junpei turned and ran back toward the stairs. He had scarcely taken a step when, at the top of the stairs, next to an ornate clock embedded in the wall, he saw a person. It was a girl. She looked to be the same age as Junpei. He froze, unable to look away from her face. He wasn't confounded by her beauty, or something equally silly. No, there was another reason he couldn't take his eyes off the girl. Junpei had seen her somewhere before. He couldn't quite remember where, but he knew. He knew he'd met her before. The girl, too, stared at Junpei, similarly stunned. Her response suggested she'd seen him before as well. Without saying a word, Junpei walked slowly toward her. She didn't move. It was almost as though she was held in place by some sort of magic spell. As Junpei stepped into her landing, the spell broke. Everyone gonna die, Patrick!
Everyone gonna die.
No sooner had he set his foot down than the whole ship shook a second time. Ah! The quake caught the girl unprepared, and she fell. Moving on instinct, Junpei leapt to catch her. Or so he thought. Ooh, she's pretty. Look at her fur, she's pretty. Guys, she's super pretty.
I don't see her yet.
Her face was far closer than it should have been, mere inches from his own. He was flat on his back, and she had landed squarely on top of him.
Everyone gonna die.
The girl seemed as confused as he did, and her face suggested that she still hadn't fully recovered from seeing him. For a moment, that seemed to stretch for a very long time as they stared at each other. Lewd references? Nope. It's just a generic anime trope. The ship stopped shaking. Everything was quiet.
Wait, what's generic anime trope?
The girl falling on top of the guy because the guy was trying to save her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, by the way, did happen in Cardcaptor Sakura, so, yeah. You know,
multiple times, if I remember.
Yeah, pretty much. Water could be heard from the bottom of the ship, lapping faintly at walls and ceilings, but eventually that faded as well. The silence was complete, a thick, muffling blanket. At last, the girl opened her mouth. Oh my gosh, is that you, Jumpy? 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 Her words echoed through Junpei's head, and suddenly his memory returned. Akane? Oh, why hadn't he realized it before? The girl was Akane Kurashiki. Kurashiki. I thought it was Murashiki, but it's Kurashiki. She and Junpei had been friends in childhood. They'd gone to elementary school together for 6 years. But what was she doing on the ship? And why is she so beautiful? Her soft eyes were only inches away from his own. He could feel the warmth of her face. Feelings he'd thought long forgotten began to work their way to the surface. He could feel his face heating up. At that moment, a speaker crackled to life, and a cold, eerie voice filled the room. Welcome aboard. I welcome you all from the bottom of my heart to this my vessel. With the voices in invasion, the spell between Junpei and Akane was broken, and all hints of burgeoning romance was instantly forgotten. They hurriedly entangled themselves from one another and struggled to their feet. Their 7 companions had heard the voice as well, and many
of Italian carpenter?
You mean an Italian pipe cleaner?
He was originally a carpenter and also went by Jumpman.
That's true. That's true. You're right. And many of their faces had gone pale.
I know.
They looked around frantically, desperate to locate the source of the voice. At last, they found it. A speaker said in the ceiling. Nice speaker. I am Zero, the captain of this ship. I am also the person who invited you here. The voice was harsh, obscured occasionally by the crackle of static. But Junpei recognized it. How could he have forgotten it? It was the same voice he heard from the man in the gas mask. Hey, asshole! What the hell is this? Come on out here! I want to get a good look at you. Well, I'm gonna get a look at you. That's what he said. What do you mean to do to us? I mean to have you participate in a game. Some of you I know, are familiar with this game. The Nonary